Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Johnny TCG back with another video, and today I'm going to be covering one of the new leaders we get in OP09, Marshall D. Teach, aka Blackbeard. This leader is going to go crazy. He wasn't super popular at first, but recently in Japan he's taken off and is one of the most popular leaders at the moment. He's a very strong leader that I think is going to be very popular in the West as well. It requires a very unique playstyle, and so I think it's going to be a deck that a lot of people play, but only a few really master. I certainly haven't mastered it yet, and that's going to take a while. For those that don't know, he's a 5 life, 5000 power mono black leader. His ability reads, your on-play effects do not activate, and so you cannot really run any cards that have on-play effects. Of course you can, but you're not going to be able to use them, so what's the point? Then we have Activate Main. You may trash one card from your hand, and then during your opponent's next turn, their on-play effects are negated. That is where this deck gets crazy. The potential of it is mind-blowing. It really throws off a lot of decks in the meta. Think about it. Rob Lucci can't play Gecko on curve. Purple Luffy can't play most of their characters because a lot of them have on-play effects. Bonnie can't play 10-drop Dofi. The list is really endless. It's crazy how if you time this perfectly, your opponent's just going to be cooked. The deck I'm running today is a kind of a combination of a couple different winning decks over in the East. Now 99% of the deck is basically the same. There's just a couple tech choices that some people prefer over others. For example, I saw Ice Age being used in a list. More finger pistols, less finger pistols. It's kind of really up to you. For the most part, the core has been kind of decided as the best. You're going to be running mostly Blackbeard Pirates cards, if not all. Let's take a look at the deck. Then I've got a giveaway for a custom holographic Blackbeard leader card. You're going to want that if you want to be swagged out at locals. And then, of course, we've got some gameplay for you. Starting off, we're running 4 Laboons. Laboon, if you've noticed recently, the price has skyrocketed on TCG Player. He's a 4-cost 5000 power character with 1000 counter, and his ability is Activate Main. You may rest him and then give -4 to one of your opponent's characters. You can activate his ability as soon as you play it, so you're getting instant value. Van Augur is a 5-cost 6000 power, 1000 counter. Activate Main, you may rest him and then give one of your opponent's characters -3 cost. He also has the perk of on KO, draw 1 card. And in this deck, when you're going to be trashing a lot of cards from your hand to activate your leader ability, this is really good. You're going to struggle with card advantage at times, and so that's why having an effect like this is really beneficial to you. Jesus Burgess is a 4-cost 5000 power character with 1000 counter. He is amazing in this deck. He cannot be KO'd by effects. And then also, for every 4 cards you have in your trash, he gains 1000 power. With a deck that requires you to trash a lot of cards, by the end of the game, he's going to get really strong. It's going to be hard for your opponent to remove. It's just insane value. We've got 4 Shiryus. This is mainly just a 2K. I haven't really ever played him out. And watching gameplay of others, I've never really seen them play it out much. He lets you cycle 2 cards from your hand. Nothing really special. Next up, we have 4 Stronger, 1 cost, 0 power, 2000 counter. Their ability is Activate Main. You may trash a card from your hand and rest this character. If your leader is Blackbeard Pirates typed, you draw 1 card and then give one of your opponent's characters -2 cost. Doc Q, this card is really strong early game. 2 cost, 0 power, 1000 counter. Activate Main, you may rest him and then KO a 0 cost. And then on KO, you get to draw a card as well. This is perfect for the early game. If your opponent plays out a Searcher that requires a Don to be rested on turn 1, you could play this on turn 1 if you're on the even curve and pop it before they even get value. 3 Vasco Shot, just the definition of a chump blocker. 2 cost, 2000 power, 1000 counter. Easily removed, but they can get the job done when you need it in a pinch. 4 of the 10 cost Blackbeards. 10 cost, 12,000 power, a blocker with this insane ability that Activate Main. Because you don't have on play effects, it's Activate Main. If you've played this card this turn, you negate your opponent's leader ability. Then you negate the ability of one of their characters. Then you prevent one of their characters from attacking next turn. Then after all that, you still have a 12k blocker on the board. It is absolutely a beast. The longer the game goes on, And the more of these 10 cost you can accumulate on board, the closer you are to victory. It's not an auto win, of course, but it's just such a really oppressive, really good card. I imagine these will be in high demand once OP09 drops. Lafitte? I don't know how you pronounce this card. Let me know in the comments down below. This is just your typical activate main, rest 1, Don Searcher. So the good news is that if it survives, you can keep using his ability over and over again. We're running 4 of the Finger Pistol. It's a 4-cost event, activate main, trash the top 2 cards of your deck, and then KO one of your opponent's cost 5 or less characters. This can be a little bit risky because you could trash a 10-cost Whitebeard, 10-cost Blackbeard, but that's the risk you take sometimes. I would definitely hear you out if you changed the ratio here and maybe went down 2 of these, added in a Liberation and an Ice Age or something like that. This is my age, the 1-cost event searcher. This is your typical event searcher. Look at the top 3 for a Blackbeard Pirates type card besides This Is My Age, and then trash the rest. It also has a trigger. We're running 3 Liberation. I definitely think there's an argument to be made to run 4 here. This card is really good. It's like Finger Pistol, 4 cost, activate main. If your leader is Blackbeard Pirates type, then negate the effect of one of your opponent's characters for this turn. We're looking at you, Borsellino. We're looking at you, Jesus Burgess. Then if that character is 4 cost or less, you may KO it. And so this is able to get around some of the annoying abilities that some characters have of not being able to be KO'd by effects, because you're turning it off. Next we have Hachinosu. This is actually a stage card, and what it does is activate main. You may trash 1 card from your hand, look at the top 3, choose 1 Blackbeard Pirates type, and then trash the rest. And so between your leader ability, between Hachinosu, between your This Is My Age search, you're going to be putting a lot of cards in the trash, thus boosting up that Jesus Burgess. Like I said, this deck's going to take some time to get used to. It certainly has been for me, at least. It's not just an instant, easy deck to understand. It really comes down to knowing your opponent's curve, knowing how to manage your resources. It's been a ton of fun to play, and I definitely would recommend giving it a shot. Before we get into the gameplay though, of course we've got a giveaway. Today we're going to be giving away a custom holographic leader card. I'll throw it on screen. Boom. We've got artwork from the One Piece Treasure Cruise game. It is not my art. I am not selling it. All you have to do to enter the giveaway is 2 things. 1, leave a like, and 2, leave a comment. If this video gets 25 likes in the first 24 hours, I'll send it to 1 US-based commenter completely free of charge. Who doesn't want to have this crazy aura at locals? They're not legal for regional tournaments, so please be aware. For locals, you'll be fine. Bring it out, flex on them, have a great time. Thank you all for the support. That's enough of me yapping. If you like the channel, considering hitting subscribe. We are so close to 1,000. Kind of. We got like 200 more till we get to 1,000, but hey, that's the goal. Thanks for watching. Roll the gameplay. Our first match of the day is going to be against Red Sanji, the new leader from PRB01. I think is going to be a very popular leader in OP09. He might not be the best leader in the set, but I just think he's going to be a fun leader to play. And he also is technically a good counter to Blackbeard, and with Blackbeard going to be a popular leader, it makes sense that Sanji would therefore have some relevance in the meta as a good counter to it. On our 1-down play, we're going to do the Searcher event and get the Jesus Burgess. I really like that card in this deck. He has 2 great abilities. Not only is he a 4-drop, 5,000 power with 1,000 counter, he also has the ability to not be KO'd by effects. And then for every 4 cards in your trash, he gets another 1,000 power on your turn and your opponent's. That's just so strong, especially late game. Now we're going to do a Lafayette search, get the Van Augur, and then swing 6,000 into their leader. I imagine they'll take this. They might counter out though. They give me the 2K Otama. I don't think they should have done that. I think it makes more sense to keep that in their hand. I'm not going to be using my leader ability just to stop in Otamas on play. They're going to go 5,000 into my Lafayette first. That makes sense. They can have that. 4 down left to work with. We'll probably see a character with and giving them rush. They do play the 2-drop Sanji from OP01. They're going to use Sanji's ability, both the leader and the character, and they're going to be able to swing 9,000 at me. I am just going to take that. 4 Don to work with here. I think that just swing 6,000 into Sanji to get rid of it, and then playing out the Jesus makes sense. And then we go Jesus, Jesus. I really like where we're at right now. They could start to spam the board with rush bodies. Luckily, Jesus cannot be KO'd by effects. So you'll see here a misplay that I think is going to be very common in the early days of OP09 as people are still getting used to playing against Blackbeard. They're going to play down the raise max minus Jesus by 2,000. So now he's at 3,000 and could be susceptible to being KO'd by one of their when attacking effects. They're actually going to be playing a Nico Robin. And normally Nico Robin can KO a character when she's attacking, but she cannot KO Jesus Burgess because of his effect. Little misplay there. That's probably going to happen a lot. I almost counter out of the Nico Robin swing, but I decide not to. I'll just counter out of the Sanji leader swing. I'll give him the 2K Shiryu. Now I've got 7 Dawn to work with. We might start out with a search, looking at the top 3. We'll take the Stronger. That would be very helpful, just lowering the cost of one of my opponent's characters. This turn I'm thinking about playing down a Van Augur or maybe a Laboon, just establishing a body. First, we're going to want to get rid of the Nico Robin. We'll start with a 5,000 swing, see if they let it go or give us counter. I think here they should let it go and then let the swing into their life with Jesus Burgess go through. I think that makes the most sense to gain resources because, of course, the Nico Robin's not going to survive this turn, so they might as well just let it go now. I believe they do counter out of it. They give me the 2K, and that doesn't seem like the right play to me. Maybe you disagree in the comments below, and that is perfectly fine. Now we'll do a 7,000 swing from Jesus, and they let it go. We'll play down the Laboon and the Vasco shot. The Laboon, the cost reduction will be very good to have next turn if it can survive, and the Vasco shot is just a solid jump blocker that we might be able to get some value out of. Jesus Burgess is now at 7,000 power, and he's only going to get stronger from here. So if my opponent doesn't deal with him soon, he may never be able to deal with him just because he'll be so big that it would take a lot of Dawn investment probably. For 7 Dawn, they're going to play down the Edward Newgate, the new one from Starter Deck 15, an amazing card. They use that to pop the Laboon before I can get any value from it. And now they're going to swing 7,000 at me with their leader. I am actually going to take this just to continue to get resources into my hand, and we do find the 10 cost Blackbeard blocker. That is one of the best boss monsters in the game, I think, in OP09. Now, I know this turn I need to get rid of that Edward Newgate or it's going to get crazy value. I'm thinking about how to do this. I believe I can do Laboon, then Stronger, and then the Doc Q. I think that is the move, just getting rid of it first. I could have swung into their life first, which makes more sense when it comes to sequencing, but sometimes you just have to do the play and the combo before you get the swings down, just so you can get it over with and kind of picture how everything goes. Maybe that's just me. I got to get my game up, but sometimes I just do the combo first, even though it's not ideal. We are able to clear the Newgate. Now we're going to swing 7,000 with leader. Again, we should have done 7,000 with Jesus Burgess first, just in case they had any spicy triggers that I don't know about yet. They're already down to 2 life. We caught up pretty quickly. We've got a chump blocker out. We've got a lot of characters on the board. I'm liking where we're at. Next turn, we'll be able to drop the 10 cost Blackbeard, and it'll be hard for them to deal with that. They're at 10 Dawn this turn, and for 8, they're going to play down the Silver Israeli. They are going to minus my Jesus Burgess, pop the Vasco shot blocker, also minus the Laboon, and they're going to swing 5,000 into the Laboon. That is fine with me. I thought they might want to swing into the Jesus Burgess, but hey, they got rid of the Laboon. It'll make getting rid of the Silver Israeli harder, but I think we will be okay. I don't know if we're going to get rid of it via cost reduction this next turn or if we should play the 10-drop Blackbeard. They're going to do a couple searches with Nami's, but not get anything crazy. They actually get 2 starter deck 1 Sanjis, OP01 Sanjis, the 2K, so they probably just need counter right now. Since the Silver Israeli effect goes for my turn as well, the Jesus Burgess is down to 5,000 power. That is not ideal, but we will swing into life. They give us the 1K. Now we'll swing 5,000 into their life as well, and we're going to play down the 10 cost Blackbeard. The reason we play this down is because he actually prevents the Silver's Rayleigh from even attacking this next turn, and so instead of removing him with cost reduction, I think it just makes more sense to get the Blackbeard out, prevent him from attacking, and then we can block basically any swing they throw at us with their leader or any characters they play. They're going to play down the Pell card that gets new life in this new Sanji deck. Swing 8,000 at me and KOs my Doc Q. 8,000 at me. I'm debating on whether or not I want to free block with Blackbeard. I don't think it really matters too much. They will probably swing 8,000 with their leader, and so I'm basically just going to deal with two 8,000 swings. I decide to block with leader, then they swing 8,000, and I'm debating on if I should counter out of this. I decide not to, and I get rewarded with another 10 cost Blackbeard. I don't think it really mattered too much, though. I think that we are in a great position for this game. We'll do 7,000 or 8,000 at the Pell. They let it go. 5,000 with our Blackbeard, and they are going to let that. They are going to counter out of that swing into life. And now I'm debating on whether or not I should swing into their life with my Blackbeard, because I am going to play another one, freezing their leader or nullifying their leader ability for my turn, and then freezing their Silver's Rayleigh again. I decide just to leave both of them up just because I kind of want the defense right now. I don't have a ton of counter in hand, and so I should be a little bit hesitant, but I think next turn I'm going to have a lot of swings into life, and I'm feeling pretty good about where we are. For 3 Don, they're going to play the starter deck 1 Zoro. This Zoro gets new life in the PRB Sanji. Giving him 1 Don gives him an extra 1,000 power, so he is actually at 7,000 right now. They're going to swing 6,000 with their Nico Robin. This is kind of just like, it's over. There's nothing really they can do. It doesn't really matter if I block or counter. I think I'm going to block just because they could have Diable Jambes, even though I still think I can get out of those. So I'll just free block and, yeah, be kind of on my way. They can swing 7,000 with Zoro. I can free block that as well, or I could counter out of it. And then 7,000 with leader. I will counter out of this, even though I think this is going to be GG's. And you can look at it now, our Jesus Burgess is all the way up to 9,000 power. As long as the later the game goes, the better Blackbeard gets as a leader. Jesus gets stronger. We can start dropping 10 drops. It's just good vibes all around. They're going to take that first hit. Do they have a trigger? I don't think it will really matter too much. They do have the trigger Bad Manners Kick Course to give my leader minus 3,000 power, but that definitely doesn't matter. I'm going to swing 12s with my Blackbeard characters, and that gets the job done. GG's. Our next game up is against Blue Doflamingo. Blue Doflamingo might still be the most popular leader next set. He became the most popular leader after the new starter decks dropped, and it seems like an OP09, at least in the East, he still remained the most popular leader. We are going to be going second. They're able to drop the buggy and order the top of their deck. That is not a great sign. We are going to play the This Is Our Age, or This Is My Age, and draw the 10 drop. We love to see that. We could also play the Lafitte. Let me know how to pronounce it in the comments below. The Lafitte here, and just not be able to search with him. I think that's probably the move. Have him set up for next turn. If they pop it back with a bounce law, then it is what it is. And then I'm debating using Blackbeard's ability this turn. While I hate trashing cards so early, we haven't been able to get card advantage. They won't be able to get a Jinbei playoff, which is absolutely huge. Doflamingo is able to get a turn 2 Jinbei on 3 Don. You're kind of cooked. 7,000 at my leader. They do play the Boa. They use the 2-drop Blackbeard that turn, and I wonder if that was so they could stack their deck. And maybe if they had a Jinbei this turn, they wanted to play out the Boa instead. At least for the Boa, they do not get the on-play of adding another Don and rearranging their top deck. We do get the Liberation trigger, but I don't think that really does anything for us right now. We're going to be at 4 Don. We could play the Jesus Burgess. We could search with our Lafitte. Or we could use this, Liberation, and KO the Boa Hancock. I think that's the move, just trying to prevent them from establishing a big board. I don't know if we're going to use leader ability this turn. I guess we're not, just because we can't go too low of cards in hand. Maybe I should have, though. If they do have a Jinbei, that will definitely hurt. I think getting rid of the Boa was the right move here. I want to establish that Jesus Burgess. I need to do that ASAP, but he also is easily poppable in this matchup between Bounce Law, a Gravity Blade, Raging Tiger. I don't feel like he is as strong in this matchup as he is in others. They are going to be able to do the Jinbei this turn into Boa. That is a great combination. Maybe I should have used my leader ability. You live and you learn, I guess. This is still early days of OP09. Technically, we're not even there yet. So over the course of the set, I will definitely get better and learn the matchup more. We all will. Now they're going to use Teach's ability, swing 8,000 at me, play down the Mihawk, and things are getting a little bit awkward. They've just established a full board. That feels bad. We're going to do our search, and I'm thinking we take the Doc Q, hopefully be able to KO one of their characters using some cost reduction. I think that's the move. 5 Don left to work with. I am going to give 1 to my leader so that when I swing into the Mihawk, it doesn't just get free blocked by the Boa Hancock. Then for 4 Don left up, I might just go Jesus Burgess and hope they can't pop it. I have a lot of cards in hand. I am susceptible to a pudding, but it is what it is. They are going to block and counter with the Boa and then trash a pudding. Hopefully they don't have another in their hand. I am very happy to see that pudding go into the trash. It makes me feel a little bit more comfortable. They'll probably swing into the Lafitte here, and yeah, I'll just let it go. We do have a lot of counter. I'm not too afraid right now. If they do have the Gravity Blade Raging Tiger, that will certainly hurt. They're going to start their turn by giving 1 Don to Boa and swing 7,000 at my leader. It seems like it might just be a wide swinging turn for them where they're just going to swing with all their characters. I'm thinking I counter out of this one just because I don't know what other swings they have in mind, and they could swing really big and put me quite down low in life, and I don't want to get to that point. So we're going to give them 3k worth of counter. 6 Don left to work with. We could see a Jozu. A Jozu would be able to pop back my Burgess, and that would be unfortunate. 7,000 with Mihawk. They get to filter a bit. This, I think I should counter out of this too. They still have 2 7,000 swings into me, maybe even more depending on what they play. I decided to take it. I've definitely run the risk of getting puddinged, but unlikely at 6 cards. They're going to do 2,000 into Lafitte. They got that. 7,000 into leader again. Now we'll take this too. It definitely feels a little bit risky. We are going down to 1 life card. Now 7,000 with leader. We got to counter out of this. We can't go down to 0. My plan is that this turn we'll be able to swing into their board with leader, Burgess, and then we'll drop the 10 cost. We don't even have enough to drop 10 cost. Oh my god. I do not know how I'm going to survive this turn. I think we might just have to throw down a chump blocker. Maybe do the stage and try to find some sort of answer to this. I don't think we really have any great plays. We can try to clear their board, swinging 9,000 into their Boa. I should swing 10,000 just because that guarantees that they won't be able to save it. Then 5 Don left. I'm just going to swing big into their Dracula Mihawk or their Jinbei. It doesn't really matter. They'll give me that. And then I'm going to throw down the chump blocker. The reason I didn't do the stage is I really didn't feel like I had any card that I wanted to trash. I would have either had to trash a 10 cost Blackbeard or a 2k counter. Both of those feel bad to get rid of. They're going to start out with a 7,000 swing from Jinbei into me. I think I might be cooked this turn. The 7,000 with Jinbei, I think I just have to block that. I don't want to use up all my counter. They could have had a Perfume Femur, and so I couldn't let that one go through. Now they're going to play the Jozu, swing 7,000 with leader, do a blind leader ability, and get the Jinbei. We are so cooked. Maybe I should have done leader ability last turn to prevent a card like Jozu. We're going to counter out of some of those swings and go 5,000 into a Jinbei. Hopefully they let that go. They do not. I'm going to use my 10 cost Blackbeard's effect, but I don't think that will be enough unless they just kind of use bad numbers. But I think this is where it's all over. 7,000 at me. I'm just going to counter out of this. And then I miscountered, and yeah, that's just GG's. I don't think there was any way for me to get out of this. That's rough though. Maybe if I had 2k more counter or 2 more 2ks and they didn't swing properly, I would have been able to get through it, but it is what it is. GG's. Our last match of the day is against another Blackbeard. I've never played this mirror match before, so this should be interesting. I'd imagine whoever can play the first 10 cost Blackbeard wins, but we'll see. I'm on the odd curve. I don't really have anything to play. I could play down the stronger just to have it established, but I'm not sure if that is really worth it. So I'm just going to end my turn and not play it out. 2 Don for them. We could see the establishing of a Doc Q, a Lafitte. They're going to go with the 1 cost Searcher event. This is my age. They draw the Black Hole and then the Lafitte and then pass. 3 Don for me to work with. I think the Doc Q might be the move. That Lafitte play actually was not the smartest, just because with Doc Q I will be able to KO it and it got no value. 6,000 into their lead first, and they do take that. That's good. Now we'll do Doc Q for 2 Don, resting it to KO the Lafitte. A very satisfying turn for myself, if I say so. They're going to start with 5,000 into leader. I'm just going to take this, get some cards in hand, see what we can find. Then with 4 Don left up, we are going to see the Burgess. Unfortunately, Burgess can't be KO'd by effects, but I do have Liberation, which Liberation, if you don't know, negates one of your opponent's effects. And so I can use that to actually put Burgess in the trash because it canceled out its effect. So another great play. I feel like I'm on a roll. Most people on the sim, including myself, are still learning the deck, still trying to figure out the best play lines and best combos to use. For 2 Don, they're going to play out the Vasco shot and then swing 9,000 at me. That 9,000 is pretty rough. I will just have to take this. And from our life, we do get a Burgess. Not sure if that is worth playing out. I mean, they likely run 4 Liberations as well, so it might immediately get removed. I'm not exactly sure what to play this turn. I think I'm just going to swing 8,000, try to lower their life a little bit or get cards out of hand, and then I'll play the Von Augur or the Burgess. I went with the Burgess, risking and hoping that they don't have the Liberation, which they immediately do. The Van Augur would have been nice to set up to set myself up for success if they play a bigger body and I want to lower the cost of it to remove it. But I do also have 2 Laboons that I can play this next turn. They're not going to establish another body. They are just going to swing big at me again. I get the Liberation trigger, but I don't use it. I am fine to keep cards in my hand right now. I'm debating on what exactly I want to do this turn. I could really use a search. I don't really have any clear plays. Let me know what you would do in the comments down below if you were in my position. I'm just going to start with 5,000 from leader. And then I might do Burgess and Van Augur. I might do Laboon Van Augur. I'm actually going to go with another Burgess. That'll be a good body to swing into their leader next turn. And then I'll do the Von Augur as well. I like that Von Augur on KO will help me draw a card. I'm going to use Van Augur as well to get rid of the Vasco shot. Just getting rid of a chump blocker along with the Doc Q. That's a very nice combo. They're going to do 5,000 at my life with leader. Now we know what's going to come next. The 10 cost Blackbeard will probably prevent my Burgess from attacking, which is unfortunate. But I will be able to remove him actually. I can Laboon, Van Augur, and then get rid of the 10 cost with Doc Q. That is a very nice, exciting combo. Unfortunately, I screw it up. I fall asleep, I go into autopilot, and I swing 6,000 with Van Augur. But I need to rest Van Augur to use his ability. And so now my math is wrong, which is absolutely terrible. I don't think I'll be able to get this teach off the board. I don't have a 10 cost teach to answer it. Man, this feels bad. I feel like a fool. What I do next might also be a misplay too. I'm going to go 7,000 with my leader into their life. I think what I should have done was Laboon Van Augur. Instead, I'll do Laboon. Here's where I actually realized I made my miscalculation. And I actually think I might have been able to still pull off the combo if I did not give my leader to Don, because then I would have been able to play out the stronger, which would have been able to get their teach down a little bit more. So that's unfortunate. For the rest of my Don, I'm just going to play down another Laboon. Unfortunately, I do realize that if they have another 10 drop here, they're going to be able to freeze one of my Laboons. And they could potentially swing into the Van Augur with their active Blackbeard. So that's a little bit unfortunate. I'm not exactly sure what the better play would have been, given that I already made like 2 misplays that turn. They're going to go 5,000 at me. I'll give them the 2K Shiryu. I'm not sure if they're going to swing again with their other Blackbeard. They are going into life. This I just have to take. We get another Doc Q. That's not really helpful at the moment. And then they do have another Blackbeard. I might be able to go for game here. Let's see what I end up doing. I am going to actually do the combo correctly. This time I will use I'm debating between Finger Gun and Liberation. I don't really think it makes much of a difference. If anything, this situation, Finger Gun is better because I might want to save the Liberation for when it's really necessary for a Burgess, even though I don't think this game's going to last much longer. I also kind of realized that I have to go for game just because with 2 swings and no blockers, they just can math me out. I'm going to swing first with Burgess, but then I also have a big brain moment. This big brain moment redeems me from my little brain moment of my previous misplays, that I can use Doc Q's ability to get another card in the trash and then power up Burgess even more. Or I use my leader ability. So I use my leader ability to prevent their on-play effects next turn, even though that doesn't really do anything. I did it so I would power up Burgess, swing for 9, they let it go, and now I just have to swing 9 again and see if it can get us there. I am not expecting it to. I'm really mad at myself for the misplays and mismanaging of this game, but they can't get out of a 9,000, and so we end up getting the dub. It feels good because we should have won that, I think, because we should have been able to remove the original 10 cost Blackbeard, but hey, that's why you got to keep playing and don't just disconnect after a misplay. Try to play through it and see if you can make the best of it. GG's. Ladies and gentlemen, those are the games I got for you today. What did you think about them? I have been having a ton of fun with this leader. I really think that he's going to be popular in the West and that you're going to have to get used to playing against him. He's very kind of trolly, you know. It just feels so bad to not be able to utilize your own play effects. And so I could see this leader being very popular. You need to know how to play against him. It can't hurt to learn how to play him. Yeah, that's all I got to say. If you liked the video, consider hitting that like button, consider hitting that subscribe button, and that's all I got for you. Peace. Have an amazing night.